Man, Oogie Boogie Bash ticket sales did not go well this year. I mean, they didn't go well last year either. But this year, Disney needs to get their stuff together. Sales went pretty well on Magic Key Day, the 27th. Then on the 29th, general admission tickets started going on sale, and they barely got the site launched. The event started before they just shut the whole thing down and told everybody to come back 2 weeks later. Yesterday, guests got their second chance to buy those Oogie Boogie Bash tickets. And though the site launched and sales happened, something else happened that was kind of incredible. They sold out completely in 11 hours. We'll tell you why that's nuts and why that's bad for Disney and for its guests. We're also going to talk about the new menu coming to California Adventure and new information on Adventureland Treehouse coming to Adventureland soon. But first, let's get back into that Oogie Boogie story and just how and why it's kind of incredible. And it starts when you understand that last year, it was major news. It was headline material that Oogie Boogie tickets sold out in 6 days. People were flummoxed. It was 6 days? What? Like, how is that possible? That was news. That was, jaw-dropping when you consider that previously, in 2019, Oogie Boogie Bash tickets went on sale, I think in late April. It took 4 months in 2019 for them to sell out of Oogie Boogie tickets. Then it was just 6 days last year. So you can understand why that seems like a big deal. And now 11 or maybe 12 hours this year. Not even a full day, half a day. Now, last year people were asking, what happened? What happened with it went from 4 months to 6 days? That was last year. The general consensus was resellers, scalpers. People would, third parties would swoop in and buy a whole bunch of tickets and then immediately start reselling them in the aftermarket on eBay or StubHub or something like that. And in often cases at just incredibly offensive prices. I just cannot believe that people would pay the prices that they're asking for these tickets. Now, we had heard stories that Disney was trying to do something about it. They were trying to crack down on the reseller problem. But I don't know how effective they were. As a matter of fact, this is kind of a story that people have talked about for years now, in different situations for aftermarket ticket sales. And I can tell you, actually, when I asked that question just before, how effective Disney's efforts were to address this problem. I can tell you that the answer is not effective at all. We've gone from 4 months to 6 days to now just 11 hours. So the problem hasn't been solved. Disney hasn't gotten anywhere on fixing this. It's only gotten worse. In fact, if anything, these resellers have been emboldened by their ability to do this with absolutely no consequences whatsoever. It has become more of a problem. There's more of them doing it, and they're doing more of it. People are paying those prices, and Disney is able to do little to nothing about it. And to be fair, I honestly don't know what you can really do about it, short of requiring, doing some kind of verification process, asking for identification at the time of purchase or something to that effect. But other than that, I'm not sure what you can do. But something does need to happen because this year they have managed to achieve new levels, incredible levels of absurdity when it comes to resellers and the prices that they're charging. There were guests in the Oogie Boogie Bash queue yesterday for hours. Some of them I saw on Twitter, some of them were saying that they were in the queue for the entire 11 hours. They patiently sat there and waited to try to, honestly, they were just a couple of folks just trying to get a couple tickets for themselves. They waited in that queue all day for 11 hours, only to be told that they were sold out. I would be furious. Not that they sold out. If they had been sold out under honest conditions, that there was truly these levels of popularity and everybody was swooping. But it's because of the reseller situation. And we know this to be true because you can already find those 2023 Oogie Boogie Bash tickets on sale now on eBay and other auction sites. Now, waiting in that 11-hour period, I mean, it can be stressful, anxiety-inducing. I mean, you could do it idly. You can do it passively while you're doing something else. Leave the tab open, on your computer or whatever, on your phone while you're doing something else. But you do have to check that website at least once every 10 minutes because that's all they give you. Once it's your turn, once you're in the queue, you get just 10 minutes to proceed with your sale, to start that process. So if you happen to be, not paying attention when it's your turn in the queue, if you get there, then you got to start all over again. So people have, it becomes their job. It becomes their thing to do on that day. very stressful, a lot of anxiety. It becomes a habitual almost. It's I've been through it myself, and I've just sat there and stared at that window for hours. Just constantly toggling back and forth between the windows, checking, and checking because you don't want to miss. And to be let down after waiting all the time to be told that they're sold out, and then you're forced, if you really have a desire to go to Oogie Boogie, you're forced to go to the aftermarket and pay those prices. That's just kind of wrong to me. And Disney thinks so as well. They say on their website, when you buy the tickets, there's a disclaimer. There's, legalese on there. You are not permitted to resell these tickets. That is against policy. You are not allowed to resell them. The person who buys the tickets has to be the person who uses the tickets. And what's worse is that when Disney does catch somebody using a scalp ticket, usually it's at the gate. When that does happen, it's the buyer. It's the buyer who gets caught. And that means that the buyer is not let into the park. They're not, even if they paid for this ticket, they are not allowed into the park. And they're out however much they paid. Meanwhile, the seller, they're out nothing. They got their money. And I'm not even sure if the seller ever gets identified in these cases. If they were, there would be fewer of them. So they just get out of this completely scot-free. And I feel like that whole scenario, it's kind of embarrassing, really, for a company of Disney's caliber, that they are not able to find a more elegant, graceful solution to this problem. Not just to the reseller situation, but just the drama of trying to buy a ticket to begin with. It's become a meme now. It's become cliche, the hashtag more than an hour club. We all expect to wait for hours. And it's just, you can say that this is, it's not Disney. It's a third party that runs the ticket sales, which is, that's valid. Get a different third party, all right? And get a different third party who knows what they're doing or can do it better and pay them what is necessary. This is something that is integral to Disney's operation. Selling tickets to your theme park is the backbone of your operations. And to be able to fumble this process, if I feel like I'm passionate about this, if it's coming across that, it is. This is something that is just, they should be able to handle this. They should be able to handle this better than they have. And that's why we're talking about it today, because I do want to put some light on this. I want to get people's attention focused on this, because it's just not right that people feel forced to go onto eBay and to pay, $400, $500 for an Oogie Boogie ticket. More light needs to be shed on this. More pressure needs to be put on Disney to do something about it. That's why we're here. With that said, let's get into something else that we can all appreciate. That is new food at Disney parks. We've been watching with great interest the evolution of Pacific Wharf into San Fransokyo, the new themed dining area, themed after the Big Hero 6 film. And while we've had our attention focused almost entirely on the construction of the space, it's useful to remember that the Pacific Wharf, San Fransokyo, is a place to eat. Baymax and a new bridge are great, but what about the food? What are we getting to eat? Disney has let us know with a new complete foodie guide to the new foods coming to, all the food coming to San Fransokyo. Everything we're going to get, where to find it, and when it will be there. Well, except for Aunt Cass's Cafe. We're going to start there. They just said coming soon, so I don't know. We don't have a date. I'm guessing August. The fact that they didn't lean on a date suggests that this could be sometime in August. You'll find Aunt Cass's Cafe at the Pacific Wharf Bakery. It'll take over the Pacific Wharf Bakery spot. And it's going to be home to some very interesting new menu items. For example, curry beef. Beef carrots, potatoes, and onions cooked in classic curry, topped with rice, pickled ginger, and green onions, and served in a Bodine sourdough bread bowl. Right away, this has my attention because I've never eaten anything like this before, and I need to know what this is all about, especially the curry part. I'm new to curry, but love it, and I'm definitely ready to try a new way to enjoy it. This is top of the list for me. This is something that this is what I'm aiming for directly, is that first item. Unfortunately, like I said, we don't know when it's coming, but as soon as it does, we're going to try it. Also at Aunt Cass's Cafe, they're still going to serve the clam chowder in a bread bowl, this one with bacon, potatoes, and a hint of white miso. They're calling this new in the foodie guide, and I'm guessing that's because of the miso. And I hope it is just a hint. I love miso, but I don't want that flavor to take over. There's nothing wrong with the clam chowder bowl the way it is. There's no reason to reinvent it, to overthink this. The clam chowder bowl is great. So hopefully it is just a minor change to that, just a little note. I would be remiss if they ruined the clam chowder ball with the addition of the miso. Not that like I said, I love miso, but I'm hoping for the best there. Also new is the soba noodle salad served with tofu, cabbage, edamame, carrots, roasted corn, scallions, and cilantro topped with crispy shallots and sesame ginger dressing. For dessert, there's a Japanese-style fluffy cheesecake. I don't know what makes a Japanese-style cheesecake in terms of what differently they're doing, but you can bet I'm going to find out because that picture looks delicious. I definitely need to get into that. Oh, and there's drinks. You've got the honey lemonade. Minute Maid lemonade with yuzu puree, passion fruit, and strawberry popping spheres. There's the caramel cream cold brew, Joffrey's caramel mudslide cold brew. Is that a thing? Mudslide, that's a flavor? That sounds fascinating. And it's topped with house-made sea salt caramel whipped cream. Also new is the peach soju citrus cocktail. If you've ever tried soju, then you know that's all you got to say. The description doesn't need to go further than this thing has got soju in it. Let's go next to the Lucky Fortune Cookery. We do have a date here, July 19th. Same name, same theme, but what appears to be, kind of a brand new menu. Karage-inspired crispy chicken sandwich with slaw and togarashi mayonnaise on a potato bun. I love sandwiches with slaw in it, so I'm hoping this is good as well. And I've never tried, obviously, karage chicken, in terms of that style of preparation. Looking forward to trying this as well. Also new but not pictured is a beef burrito ramen. Not surprised, Disney's been getting into the burrito business a lot lately, so this is no shocker here. And then how about some yaki udon with mushrooms, sugar snap peas, roasted red peppers, bok choy, and dark choy soy and hoisin sauces. Also new. There's also a yaki udon with more of the karage-inspired chicken. Then there's this Baymax macaron filled with chocolate hazelnut spread and buttercream. Yummy. I mentioned that the Lucky Fortune menu looks quite new, but they are bringing some old stuff back, like the pork wonton nachos. Tried those. Those are pretty good, surprisingly good. Teriyaki chicken, the beef bulgogi burrito, which I don't enjoy. I tried that once, did not like it. And then the pot stickers will also be back. There's also going to be some new drinks at Lucky Fortune. A Thai tea with sea salt cream and brown sugar, and a strawberry lychee cocktail, which, yes, that does mean vodka with lychee liqueur, strawberry syrup, and fresh lemon juice with a strawberry garnish. That is a very deep menu at Lucky Fortune Cookery. That's a lot of stuff in what is a very nondescript dining location. And that leaves Cocina Cucamonga, which has its new menu coming July 29th. New to the menu will be the San Fransokyo style sweet corn with togarashi mayonnaise, queso fresco, and bonito flakes served with chicharrones. This reminds me a bit of elote. It looks and sounds like elote, or San Fransokyo's version of elote. Looking forward to trying that. But that's actually going to be the only new food item coming to Cocina. There will be one more drink, though. That's the melon cocktail made with tequila, melon liqueur, fresh lemon juice, and topped with a cherry. It looks fun as heck and should go well with, just about anything, actually. And also returning, by the way, I should mention, to Cocina, you will find, again, the quesadilla-style tacos, the al pastor tacos, and all the other tacos, actually. Those are all going to be back. And lastly, as we mentioned in our previous construction update, Rita's Baja Blenders is going to stay. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same, but it's now going to be Rita's Turbine Blenders. Now, I don't know what that, I think the preparation is going to be the same, whether it's a Baja or a turbine blender. I don't even know what a turbine blender is. We've got a couple new items coming, though, at Rita's. They're kind of just variations on the margaritas that are served there. There's the Turbine Twirler. That's a frozen margarita. A lemon lime margarita with strawberry cream-covered cocoa biscuit stick. Rita's Strawberry Margarita with cream-covered cocoa biscuit stick. And I guess it's the biscuit stick that's making these new. We'll have to try those. And that's it. That's the new food coming to San Fransokyo. If it's not mentioned, it's because it's not changing. For example, Ghirardelli's or the Bodine Bakery Tour, no changes are coming to those locations. It's going to be exactly like it was before. They're still going to be preparing the bread bowls at Bodine's because they're still serving bread bowls at the Pacific Wharf Bakery or at Aunt Cass's Cafe. As a matter of fact, that's where they make the bread bowls for the whole park. So that has to kind of stay in its place. But I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about San Fransokyo because I love new food. It really has. I love trying different things, especially foods from different cultures, especially cultures of, food cultures that I haven't tried before. And some of this is going to be brand new to me. And I like that kind of variety. That's what I love about going to DCA, is that throughout the entire park, they hit a different note everywhere you go. It's really interesting. Like Paradise Garden Grill, they're always changing the menu there a lot. To different whatever it is, whatever events happening, the menu changes at Paradise Garden. But just walking around, I think it's great. I think it's great that DCA has really leaned into being a leader in the food business. And we just tried some food there the other day. Where did I go? Oh, Smoke Jumper's Grill oh my God, that new. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for our What's New at Disneyland video that I think is going to come out tomorrow. We tried the green chili sandwich, the green chili mac and cheese, something or other at Smoke Jumper's Grill. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I'm really excited about that one. And with that, finally, we have an update for you on Adventureland Treehouse. Apparently, guests who are taking part in that $100,000 plus Adventures by Disney tour, where they go all over the world, they visit every Disney theme park, and they do a bunch of other stuff. It's a $100,000 tour, that goes all over the place, and it started, they're in mid-tour right now. It started at Disneyland just this past week. And part of that tour was they were entertained. They were joined by Kim Irvine, Imagineer Kim Irvine, at Disneyland. And she took that opportunity to talk to these guests about what's coming to Adventureland Treehouse. She was there to give a little bit of a backstory about the characters that we're going to find at Adventureland Treehouse. For example, the father is a bit of an engineer. He's the guy who kind of built and designed everything that's happening. Very much like, I should say, before we get into this, inspired by the Swiss Family Treehouse. So this may sound familiar. In any case, the father designed all of this stuff, and he's giving credit for the kitchen, which is what we've been watching them build at the ground floor of the treehouse. And it's a fully functioning kitchen. And apparently they make a note of it that it's going to include an icebox, which I'm not sure how you do that, but I'm looking forward to seeing if they explain the science behind them having an icebox in the middle of this jungle. Meanwhile, the mother, she is a musician, and she's going to have her own room. It's the room where Tarzan was being painted by Jane. That's that room. That will be occupied by mother and her, I don't know what they call it, her music room where all of her instruments are. With regard to the kids, this was something we kind of knew. There's 3 kids. I thought there was just going to be 2, a daughter and a son, but there are going to be 3 kids. A teenage daughter who will occupy the top left room, as we've been watching with the construction reports. She's going to be an astronomy and astrology buff. Her room will include graphs and models of the universe, and as we've seen in the concept art, a nod to SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. And then the top right room, that's going to be the son's room. I thought it was going to be one son, but it's actually twins, 2 boys, both naturalists. One is a lover of plant life, the other an animal lover. And their room will be filled with nods to each of those interests, including monkeys and toucans and plants of various types. Do note again that this treehouse is not, strictly speaking, it's not the Swiss Family Treehouse. It's inspired by the Swiss Family Treehouse, in spite of the fact that it is going to look and feel pretty much just like the old Swiss Family Treehouse did, because they are doing that. They're intentionally trying to give you the same vibe, but they're not calling it the Swiss Family Treehouse, and there's 2 reasons for that. First is so that they are not bound by the story, the original Swiss Family story, and that means they're not bound by the family structure. In the film, there were 3 kids, but they were all 3 boys. Disney wants to add a daughter, a girl. So they achieved that by saying that this isn't exactly the Swiss Family Treehouse. It's a brand new family, an unnamed family. We don't know their names as of yet. But you have a new family structure so that they can include a daughter along with the 2 boys. Second, I think there's a reasonable chance that they made this choice so that when they do retell this story, the Swiss Family story on, let's say, Disney Plus or something like that, they can do the same. They can change the family structure. 1 daughter, 2 sons. Then, once the film is out, be that in theaters or on Disney Plus, they can rename the Adventureland Treehouse to the Swiss Family Treehouse. Bob's your uncle. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked. Bye.